Hi, it's your nurse friend Brittany and Jeremiah. Say hi. He's gonna be walking around while we're talking today. So this episode has to do with him, but it also has to do with adults and anybody that's alive. So today we're gonna be talking about bless. Put him down for a nap. So let's try that again. I want to talk about something that people don't like to talk about, but I'm going to take a different approach. So we're going to talk about vaccines. People don't like to talk about this because I think there's a lack of education, and I think people are getting a lot of information from a lot of different sources. And if you are wanting to argue with me about whether or not we should be vaccinating, this is not the page for you. You can do that in my private messages if you want, I guess. It's not really going to change my mind. But this is purely for education purposes. I love educating, probably why I'm doing this page. But also, I think that's my favorite part as a nurse, is just giving people information to make the best decision for them and their family. I can only tell you what I know. You have to ultimately decide what's best for you. So we're going to talk about the immune system and what vaccines actually do and how they work. So this all spurred because my mother-in-law was with my father-in-law, and they gave him a hepatitis B booster. And she goes, he's been vaccinated before, like why are we needing to do this? And she was just really confused on, he'd had one, in the past however many years, and did he need a new one? And so I told her, I said, the immune system is like an army. And sometimes the army forgets who the enemy is. And so you have to remind it. If it's been told before, it's easy to remind it, and we give them a booster. And what that does is it says, hey, remember this guy? Don't forget about this guy. He's the enemy. And if you see him, don't forget to kill him. And the immune system's like, oh, okay, I can do that. So there's all kinds of soldiers in the army. And each soldier has a specific job, and that would take forever to get into. But I just really want to talk about the type of vaccines today, and kind of what they're good for and how they work. So the first one is called a live or attenuated, and this is just a weakened version of a virus. So we just take it, we weaken it, we expose it to the system. And a really healthy immune system, that army can come in it and kill it right away. And kind of get rid of that, but it also takes a mental note. It remembers what it's killed, and it puts it into a file, and it will kill it again if it's exposed again. So that weakened immune system, or that weakened virus, we don't want to give it to a weakened immune system, because they don't have a very good immune system to fight off that live virus. So people with chemo or with autoimmune disorders, things like that, we really don't give them an attenuated vaccine. It's not a good idea. The types of vaccines are going to be like your chickenpox, your MMR. Those are attenuated. The next version is called an inactivated, and this is literally a dead virus. So we just kill it and we expose the system to it, and the system makes a note, and it will kill it next time it sees it. The next type is called a toxoid. So their bacteria, when they come into the system, they produce waste because it's a living organism, and their waste produces a toxin. And we can actually take that toxin and expose it to the immune system, and the immune system will remember it. So there's a vaccine called a DTaP. Okay, and so it has 3 different types of things that we're vaccinating against. It's diphtheria, tetanus, and pertussis. The diphtheria and the tetanus are actually, that's a toxoid vaccine. So those things produce a toxin. We put it into the vaccine, we expose the system to it, the system remembers that toxin, and it will fight off that diphtheria and that tetanus. The pertussis portion of that vaccine is called a subunit, and that's actually just a small portion of that virus organism. We just take it, we kind of chop it up, and we put that small portion. That body doesn't need the whole thing. It just needs that small little portion to remember, hey, next time I see this pertussis or any portion of this pertussis, I'm going to kill this. And so that vaccine will actually protect against all 3 of those organisms. So very important. I've recently had contact with someone with whooping cough or pertussis, so it is coming back because less and less people are choosing to get the D-type. The last type I'm going to talk about is called a conjugate. So a conjugate vaccine is literally just when we take the outer shell of a virus and we expose the system to just the uniform of that enemy. We give this type of vaccine to children, and that's because our babies, like smaller babies, and that's because they have a really immature immune system. They can't remember a whole lot, they can't do a whole lot, but they can kill whatever uniform they see. So we take it and we strip it down to just the outer coat and we expose the system to it, and that immature immune system can recognize that uniform and it will just kill whatever is wearing that uniform. It doesn't take time to get to know the enemy, it just kills them. I think knowing a little bit about why we vaccinate, how we vaccinate or how these vaccines work can help some people make a choice on why or if they want to. And so please do your research on reputable sites. I'm going to link the CDC down in the comments on the CDC article on what a vaccine is. Please go and read that, educate yourself, go to reputable sites to get your information, but truly arm yourself with what it is first before you make a decision on if or why. Again, no arguing on this page. We really just want to educate on what it is and let people make their own decisions. Let me know if you have any questions.